It's October 4th, and this is my first night out. It's raining right now. This is a sprinkle, but it's supposed to not be too bad. So hopefully, as soon as this rain stops, the deer move. But the ground's really wet, so you can be really, really quiet, which I'm going to use that to my advantage. I think I have a good idea of where these deer are going to be bedded, hopefully. With the north wind, we're here in the hill country. But I think they're going to be bedding just on this hillside up here with the wind at their back, looking down in here in my direction. But there's a lot of leaves on the tree. It's early, it's pretty thick, and try to use that to advantage, try to get pretty close to them and see what happens. If I get up here and I don't even see any sign, I might not even hunt. I might just come back. So it's kind of a scouting mission / hunt. If it's if his scrape line's open and there's some good sign, I'm gonna try it. I've seen a couple rubs down by the parking lot, so hopefully there's some good sign up here. I finally stopped. Basically, I just moved up this transition line, so some thicker stuff, and finally ran into some sign. Once I hit sign, I stopped because I think I'm pretty close to where they could be bedded as well. So we'll see what happens. I got some white oaks right here around me, and I think they're feeding on them. But I found a couple fresh rubs, so I decided to stop and give it a sit for the night. I'm stopped right here though too, because I feel like if I go any farther up, my wind might start to get funky. Right now I'm right here at the kind of the head of this ditch, and my wind's floating back down here behind me. My wind's floating right back down through there, so that's what I want. But we'll see what happens. I have no idea what's in here. I haven't ran a camera, so I have no idea. I'm just gonna sit and enjoy the evening. I kind of just came tonight because it was decent weather. It's been so warm, but tonight it's only 75, so I decided to come give it a try and just kind of knock some rust off when it comes to hanging my stand and get back in that routine of just how everything works with my stand and my equipment, and just see what happens here. Maybe I can see a couple of deer. I'm not gonna shoot a doe. I'm too far from home. I'm gonna be buck hunting tonight. So anyway, so I'm gonna sit back here. I got about an hour and a half left. I'm really hoping they're better right here on this hillside in front of me. They work down into me this evening before they head out to probably the crop fields. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. There's a rub right there, and there's another rub right back here you guys can't see, but hopefully they come down off of that and work right down in here to me. bruiser 8-pointer. He walked up here on this hillside and he stopped. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I tried to video with my bow. But he walked up here on this hillside and stopped. He fell over once. And he got back up and he fell over again. He's up here. But there's another buck right here. The other bucks are just sitting right here, looking at him. They don't know what's going on. But I haven't seen him move now in about 10 minutes. He was just kicking around there in the ground, but it's a good looking 8-pointer. Not a huge deer, but a bruiser of a deer on public land. Heck yeah. Unbelievable. I walked up in here, I found a couple rubs. I thought about turning around and going out. I said, what the heck, I might as well try it. Here they came. Worked out perfect. He's just laying right up here about 60, 70 yards. Here's my arrow. Go through the story real quick. This is getting a little bit more time. I'm sitting there, or I'm going up through there, and I'm just looking for rubs, looking for any kind of fresh sign. And I get probably 100 yards up and through there, and I'm like, man, I haven't seen a single rub or scrape yet. Just a couple of trails. Yeah. But with that north wind, I'm like, if they should be bedded on that hillside, looking down in with the wind at their back. Mm-hmm. So there's this big dead tree in front of me, about 50 yards. I'm like, I'm going to get to there, and if there's nothing there, then I'm going to back out and go up the other trail. I get up to it, and I'm trying to, be smart here, especially when you're going in, you don't know really where you want to sit. I'm not trying to walk over my sign. I'm trying to look out ahead, so I don't walk over where the deer are going to walk. But I see 2 rubs. They're fresh rubs. Decently high up the tree, but nothing that's like, holy crap, you gotta sit here. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, man, do I really want to hunt here, or should I go up the other trail? And I'm like, based on recent past history, a couple years ago, I walked up that great big hill where they bed on that certain wind, and I bucked a nice buck out of it. And I'm like, in early season, I'm like, that is where they want to be. Right. So I'm like, a couple rubs are here. I was like, this is probably my best bet. They probably just haven't laid a whole lot of sign because it's been so hot. So I find a tree to hang on, and I didn't want to go too much farther up there. I was like, man, I might be too far from the bedding, but it swirls a little bit, especially if you get tucked in close to that hill. So I stayed off on the edge where my wind would suck down off into this drainage ditch down into the bottoms. Threw some milkweed up. Okay, my wind's doing what it wants to do. So I get up in the stand, and I'm not up there for more than 15, 20 minutes. I'm actually playing a game on my phone. And the good thing is I was wearing my new hearing aids. So I got new hearing aids, so I can't hear anything. So I was actually picking up on stuff well, like anything in the woods decently far off that would drop or kind of see the deer, I'd look up. Yeah. I really felt confident now because I was like, man, I can really hear. Didn't hear him. It's wet. It's wet, yeah. But something fell in the woods, and I looked up, and there's a 2.5-year-old 8-pointer standing 25 yards from me. Jeez. And all of a sudden, I see movement behind him. There's another buck, and I'm like, oh, he might be a shooter. So I'm grabbing my bow. It's another probably 2.5-year-old, but it's got a cool kicker off his G2, a nice looking deer. And then I see legs behind him, and I see a frame, and I'm like, there's the big boy. So then I'm like, okay, do not get busted by these first 2 bucks. Right. Do not just zone in on that big deer behind him and forget where these 2 deer are in front of you. They're going to bust you. Doesn't bust. Puts his head down. Walks through. Next one follows right behind him. Here comes the big boy. Right. And I'm
eating acorns or just...
Eating acorns. Yeah. The ground's tore up. And then they're going around the head of this ditch down into the private crop fields. Yeah. And... here he comes, and he was at 25 yards walking in, and I took one more glance at him, and he has a real tall, probably like, 12, 13-inch G2, bladed G2. And I was like, oh, that's big enough.
Yeah.
So I pull back, and I told myself when he was coming in, because I'm terrible at shooting a deer, it's like, just relax and take your time, don't rush it. So after I made the decision I was going to shoot him, so I draw back, when he just stopped and look the other way, I draw back, and I'm starting to squeeze the trigger, and he takes another step. So I'm, and I was like, the only thing I did wrong is I'm so used to holding just double lung, middle deer type of shooting, because I've been shooting a rage for so long, my entire life. And I didn't hug that shoulder like I need to when I'm shooting these single bevel, you know, cutthroat broadheads that are supposed to cut through bone. You know, that's why I wanted to shoot him too.
Let's see the arrow.
So I shoot him, and it zips through him. The first two bucks in front of him just look back. They don't even like run off. He jogs off like 15 yards and stands there.
Right.
Looks around for like a minute or two, and then he starts walking up the hillside on the other side of the ditch. Starts walking up the hillside. He gets about halfway up that hillside, and this is probably only about 40 yards from me. He's probably only went 50 yards from the shot. And all of a sudden he stops, and you can tell he's like, oh boy, I can't make it up this hill. So then he turns and starts trying to go around the side of the hill. Makes it another 10 yards, stops, legs start wobbling, falls over. Boom. I'm like, oh, he's dead right there. He's flopping on the ground, stands back up, okay? Walks about another 5 yards, 5 to 10 yards, stands there in this brush for a long time. Probably stands in the brush for 15 minutes or more. And the other two bucks are literally 5 yards from me just looking at him. So I knew he was right there in that brush. And I'm actually talking to either Kendall or Caleb on the phone, and all of a sudden, you just hear this huge commotion. Go bang, bang, bang. Trees, branches falling down. I saw where he stood back up again, then bam, fell down again, and then his legs start kicking. And then the other two deer took off. And then, from what I can see, it's still thick in the woods, but from what I can tell, I think I see his head just laying there.
Yep.
He's got it right there.
Yep. Let's go get our hands on him.
Okay, Remy, are you ready?
Are you ready, Remy?
Dang.
What do you think, Remy? Do you want to go get the deer? This is your first track. We're going to see how you do. If you can't find this one, we're going to have issues.
Also, when I picked up the arrow, there's blood all over the spot of the shot.
Yeah.
Good dark
He
red
did.
blood.
It's just dark red blood.
Yeah.
I'm thinking quartering, it happened so fast, again, I just didn't, when I stopped him, I think he just turned just a touch.
Yeah, towards you.
To me. But when I saw his frame and then I saw his body, I was like, he's got a big enough frame, that's like a 4.5-year-old deer. He's 300-pound deer.
Yep. Let's go get him. There's blood up here, I seen it. Where did I see it? Right there on it.
There's a bubble in it.
Let that dog get a whiff of it. Get over to this tank.
Good job, Remy. You got him, Remy. Big old body.
It's a tank, Al. Congrats. Hold him. Here, let me get over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at the mass.
He's a big body dude.
I couldn't pass him up on public land.
That's sweet.
Here, let's get him set up here. We'll be right back.
Alrighty, well, we found him. He didn't go too far. And really it was just more of a knock the rust off the hunt. I just wanted to get out and get my stand hung and kind of get back into the routine of how everything works. And they were feeding on acorns, crossing the head of this ditch, and then they were going to go down into the private ag fields. But hit him really a double lung on the entry, but he was quartered a little bit to me, and it went out in the guts. But it was a great hunt. It's October 4th. Can't believe I got it done this early. Been blessed, and yeah, I just want to give credit to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and just all the men and women that have died for this country to give us the freedom to do this. It's a blessing, and I'm just blessed to have the health to be able to come out here and do this. And thanks to my wife for letting me pursue this passion of mine, and thanks to all my friends that have helped me along the way. By no means do I know it all. This is probably one of the least confident hunts I've ever had in my life, and it turned out I shot one. And for those of you that are interested in my setup, I shoot an Elite Impulse 34. I'm only at about 26.5-inch draw. I shoot 67 pounds, and I shoot a Serious archery arrow, 300 spine. It's 534 grams with a 150-inch cutthroat single bevel on the front of it, and it definitely helped me tonight. I made a decent shot, but the key was it was a complete pass-through, and he didn't know what happened, and he only ran about 60 yards and just kind of stopped and fell over after about 10 minutes. So that's my setup. It's not for everyone, but that's what I shoot, and that's what I'm confident in. But thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
Cut.